All right, people, listen, the backlash is beginning. The Republicans are getting some. The realization from the Dems is starting to come alive. Guys, the fallout of which we were waiting for is starting to come together. I have put together all the most interesting pieces from both sides of the aisle today about the elections that are beginning to send shockwaves on both sides. We're going to do a little bit of everything. There's going to be a little bit of Dems. There's going to be a little bit of Republicans. There's going to be some backhands all around. And I guarantee you're going to love this episode wholeheartedly. Everything is linked in the description box below. Of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. And as you guys get in here, make sure you hit that 5x5, that audio. Video is good. And you are leaving chats, emojis, comments, and all those types of chats because I'm going to be candid with you. My video today did not go out on notifications at all. So many people told me that. So to make sure you guys are sending this stuff out. And it looks like audio and video is good to go. We are going to dive right in here. I am going to be as brutally honest as I can be on this one for both sides. This one's going to be one you guys are going to need to hear. All right, let's dive right into this. We've got all my stuff popped up over here. You can follow me on X at Braden LOA. We have enough to start. And you guys are amazing patriots, each and every one of you. Let's start the process. Okay, so here we go. I told you guys yesterday, we knew it was coming. This is not a Nostradamus moment. They're going to be on a little bit of a dopamine hit. The dimmies, the lefts, the blueies, they're going to be like, woo, all right, we win everything. Let's go. Here's a case in point. This is literally what they think is going to happen in the midterms. And if you're not familiar with what this image is, this is the House makeup. They genuinely think because 3 different blue cities and states went blue city and state action on us, they think that the House of Representatives is going to go 75% blue. You guys realize there are only 17 districts that are even considered toss-ups? I mean, like, these people are living in their own little world of their own making, and it is going to be amazing to straight up go Winnie the Pooh, Little Black Rain Cloud on these guys in November. Because if this is honest to God what they expect, all this is going to be fun. Oh, man, I'm already seeing the emojis, the comments, the chats. Guys, get in here. Thank you so much for your participation. Freedom is not a spectator sport, and this is a good way to practice. All right, now, I'm going to go over to my wheelhouse. I'm going to talk to you guys about one of the best ads I've seen in a hot minute. Because here's some real talk from me to you. Spread this out. Tell everybody that you know. We're going to go big screen on this one. The fight for the midterms, the fight to recalibrate from the Republican side, the fight to not overextend from the Democrat side, and all the happenstance in between, basically impeachment palooza or more of the same, it starts right the frick now. I'm going to be fully candid and transparent with you. It starts now. And the reason that I say that is because this clip and this ad from the NRA is actually one of the better NRA ads I've ever seen because they illustrate the exact same point. The second that we start taking all of our niche little interest in special groups and blending them together for the overall freedom of our movement, it will benefit us more. Watch this. This is a fire ad. Credit where credit is due. Watch this.
I echo the call from Governor Hochul for a nationwide ban on assault rifles.
He is now going to be New York City's next mayor.
Gavin Newsom is proposing something never done before on gun control, having states work together to pass a U.S. constitutional amendment on guns.
I'll issue the open invitation, come together and let's ban assault weapons.
Changes to magazine capacity and what's permissible for magazine capacity, a ban on large capacity magazines.
Projected winner, Democratic nominee, former member of Congress, Abigail Spanberger.
We do not need assault weapons. We do not need high-capacity magazines.
I believe we need to reinstate the assault weapons ban.
Waiting periods, cracking down on trafficking, and banning assault weapons.
Democrat Mikey Sherrill has defeated Republican Jack Ciattarelli.
All right, listen, I don't see a lot of ads that are that good from specifically the NRA, but also from any other special interest group on the right, particularly the nation's oldest civil rights organization. I mean, like, credit where credit's due. That's a really fire ad. Wake up. The NRA just told the politicians and the Republicans, wake up. Because the people who are taking over the Democrat Party, which dovetails exactly into what I've been saying on this channel for 12 months now, The progressives, the far left, the socialists, the insane infringement that comes from that side of the Democratic Party are taking over the entire system. The parasite is becoming the host. This is in real time. We're watching this in real time. Don't worry, I got more tabs on this in a second. But listen, NRA launches new ad, wake up. Progressive gun-grabbing politicians are taking over the Democratic Party and they are coming for your guns. It's time to wake up and get to work to protect our Second Amendment rights. More of that from every angle. That was an amazing ad. Let me hear if you guys think in the chat how you or what your thoughts are on that. Good ad, bad ad, great ad, over the target, not over the target, timely, all those pieces. Super chat from Ruby Hoove, $5. What a wild ride. Keep fighting, y'all. Oh, we have not yet begun to fight, to borrow a phrase from history. This is just the beginning. All right, let's keep on going because this, I'm so glad you guys are all here because you know what makes a really great socialist? On the first day of him being elected, about making all of the free stuff and all of the benefits to lower the affordability of the middle class and the poor, and his main constituency, he asked them for money. Y'all, come on. At least wait 12 hours before you turn into that. Anyway, watch this. This is glorious. This is going to make you smile from ear to ear. I got two clips. They even cut a campaign ad asking for more money after they were elected from the very people who expected free shit. Oh boy, let's go.
Well, thank you for the question. It's transition2025.com. And, you know, there were a few months ago where I told supporters across this city to stop donating. And today I am asking them to start once again. And I am asking them to do so because of the fact that a transition that can meet the moment of preparing for January 1st is one that will require staff, it will require research, it will require infrastructure. And those are things that we will have to provide. And I'm excited for the fact that it will be funded by the very people who brought us to this point, the working people who have been left behind by the politics of the city. Well, thank you for the question. It's transition.
Yeah, the working people who've been left behind by this city. So give me your money, working people who've been left behind the city, because you have no money. That's why I'm going to give you all the free stuff and make buses free and grocery stores completely free. So give me your money so I can make it more free for everybody else. Wow, that hit the fan quick, didn't it? Don't worry, guys. They came out and spun out a campaign ad as well. Okay, I'm not making this stuff up. This is real. This is actually happening, and I am so here for the backlash that they are already getting. Listen to this. This is a minute 25 campaign cut ad that the winner of the mayoral race, the socialist Zoran Mamdani, is coming out after his free stuff. To give you more free stuff, you got to give me more money of your money, of which you've been abused and manipulated by the bourgeoisie and the politicians. So I need more of your money to give you more free stuff, even though it will be free in the end. It won't be. Oh, God, this is great. And on top of that, Kathy Hochul has already said there's no money for any of this crap. Oh, man, when this hits the fan, I not even from the right side, I'm talking about the left side. When the lefties figure out that they can't get all their free goodies that this guy promised, let's go.
Good morning, New York City, and thank you. Last night we made history, and today we begin the work of making a new administration. Welcome to the transition. This is the period over the next few months where we build a city hall that delivers on the promises of our campaign, to make New York City affordable and to make government accountable to the people it serves. As we prepare to govern, we'll start announcing the leaders who will help implement our agenda. People like deputy mayors who oversee entire areas of government and the commissioners who carry out the critical work of city agencies. These appointments will be driven by excellence, integrity, and a hunger to solve old problems with new solutions. Talking to organizers on the front lines of the fight to improve our city, government veterans with proven track records.
Okay, I'm sorry, I can't. I want to let him keep going, but I just want to say something really quickly. Old problems with new solutions. Is he aware that the socialist revolution in Russia? I mean, like, let me give you a spoiler. Bourgeoisie, proletariat. Take the money from the rich, give it to the masses, proletariat, class struggle, all that crap, that's the new solutions. Guys, there's no way, there is. There obviously is a way that these people are this stupid to fall for this crap. New solutions to old problems. Really, what is that? Everyone has a job and a chicken in every pot and 40 acres and a mule. I mean, like, we can do this all day. Progressives through our history have tried to do this crap. It doesn't work. Anyway, super chat from Mike U. Remember always, vote and fight like you're losing. That's absolutely right, Mike. Hell yes. All right, another one from Anari, 1987, $5. Mom Donnie will fail because socialism fails. Then they'll say it wasn't real socialism and try fixing it with more socialism. This is why I love you guys. You guys absolutely get it. You are fire. You guys, I swear, you guys could all do your own YouTube channels. You could all do your own political commentary because you understand a lot more than the people that we share these screens with. Anyway, let's keep going. Again, remember all the, new solutions to old problems. BS. All right, now here we go. Here's the pitch comes in for money the day after he got elected.
Policy experts from around the country and the world, and working people who know better than anyone what our neighborhoods deserve. And this will be a period, like the campaign we ran and the city hall to come, defined by transparency. Because New Yorkers deserve a government they can trust. On January 1st, I will be your mayor. New Year's Day, and a new era for this city. Oh, and one more thing. Remember how I told you a few months ago to stop sending us money? You can start again. This transition requires staff, research, and an infrastructure that can meet this moment. And it will be made possible by the people who built and believe in this movement. So I hope you'll make a donation at transition2025.com. Now let's get to work.
Oh my God. It's going to be built and funded the most transparent thing possible, and it's going to be funded by y'all mofos. Really? Remember, the audience that he's talking to right now with that cute little smile that you see is the ones that voted for him for equal workers' rights, proletariat, bourgeoisie, free shit, gimme goodies, all this kind of... And I'm going to curse a little bit more here because it's just that stupid. It just needs emphasis. The people who he promised all the free crap to, now he wants money from them on day one because Governor Kathy Hochul isn't giving him money for his transition. So now his grand experiment is going to be funded by the people who are supposed to receive all the goodies. Guys, you can't make this up. And by the way, he can't tax anybody, and he's not going to get donations from the bourgeoisie. So, how's this going to go? Because when this falls flat on its ass, it's going to be glorious. All right, let's keep it on trucking. Now we're going to get to the Republicans. I told you the Democrats were going to get a backhand. The Republicans are going to get a backhand. But before I do that, I just want to say something. We're not anywhere near done. There's a lot of hand-wringing. There's a lot of, we're going to be defeated. There's a lot of the people on the blue side that are saying, this is the biggest victory that's ever existed since victories existed. They said the same thing during Obama. They said it's going to be blue forever. They said Biden was the big referendum on Trump, and it's never going to happen again. I mean, guys, literally, it's all about these grandiose statements to make themselves feel part of something important because they're irrelevant. That's literally what it is. You win 3 different states and cities, and then you're all of a sudden king of the world again. Now, it's still a point of concern, as I mentioned in my live last night. You still have to do an autopsy and a post-mortem to figure out where the hell it went wrong from a standpoint of candidates, endorsements, messaging, spend, all these different pieces. But that doesn't mean that you're completely gone and dead. In fact, we're just going to grind harder now that we kind of had our core shaken a little bit. That's the way I look at it. I don't have time to reminisce or lament. I have time to look at objective data and then grind forward. That's the way I roll. I've always done on this channel. Let me know. I hear you in the chat if you have been here with me for long enough to recognize that or to remember that. But now, Megyn Kelly has some very interesting things to say. She goes after the Republicans pretty hard here. And I'm going to be honest, she's right in a lot of areas. And this is the part where we start to kind of formulate a little bit of a post-mortem, a little bit of a Republicans wake the hell up. Okay? So this is Megyn Kelly. Again, I like her opinions on a lot of stuff. Check this out.
The Republican Party needs to get its shit together. ASAP. I'm really glad we spent the past couple of weeks, as Sean Davis of The Federalist put it, policing some young person's group chat, what a podcast host said, and what the head of a think tank over at Heritage had to say. I'm really glad that the Republicans devoted so much time to that. That was a great move. Terrific move. Way to stick together, to really shine a light on what matters. The Republicans like to lose. They enjoy losing. They enjoy when they are embattled and in a losing position and complaining. They love it.
All right, so now I'm going to add something to this. I don't believe that they love losing. I think there's a clarification point on this. I think she's right, 98% on this. However, there's one little piece, and this is the part that you have to understand how this works. It is one hell of a lot easier, or one hell. Let me scratch that. It's a hell of a lot easier to be out of power and be complaining about the fact of what the other party is doing and they're doing it wrong. And it's very easy to say they're bad, they're unconstitutional, they're this, that, or the other. Let's have some hearings, let's have some interviews, let's have some banging clips. It's another thing completely to be in the situation of power and then to preserve power and then also govern according to the principles of which you campaigned on. It is a very different animal. When you are in the minority, the money comes easier, the energy comes easier, you have more of a need for you as the attention a politician. And when you're the actual governing party, you get a whole lot of feedback, you get a whole lot of pushback, and you're all of a sudden the villain. It is easier to be the minority party because then you don't have to do anything. That's a reality. It's a crap reality, but it is a reality. I think the Republicans are very good in the position that they are in the minority because they're good at the complaining without governing piece. They struggle when it comes to the governing piece because the media tries to attack them. They're getting more irrelevant. The Democrats go full throttle with shutdowns like you saw, and they don't take any prisoners in a lot of their things. They don't. But I think that's an important distinction. You guys can let me know over here in the chat, comments, emojis, subscribes, shares, all those pieces. You're helping the channel go everywhere, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Now, let's get back to Megan's point because she kind of goes a little more into it.
They do it really well. Less good at winning, especially when Donald Trump is not there to get them over the line. The Republican Party is not strong. Donald Trump is strong. Republicans don't know how to win. They don't know who to run. They don't know what to do when daddy's not there to fly them across the finish line. And that's just been so obvious. Meanwhile, Trump is all over the Middle East while people's groceries bills are still high. They're still dealing with inflation. They're suffering. Like, that's it. Okay. We're focus on domestic policy and on making people's lives better. That's really all I have to say.
Okay. So, this is an interesting piece. Someone said over here in the chat, I don't trust her. That's cool. Have your own opinions for sure. It doesn't take away the validity of what she just said, though, right? In my opinion, she's kind of over the target on this one. So when you say things like focus on the domestic piece, that's a very important piece to this because the reason that the Democrats were so heavily unfavored in the generic and in the midterms was because of the affordability problems in the United States. It was because of the housing and because of the groceries and because of the gas. It's the most basic combination of everyday expenses that we all have. And we all know it's high. Like that's objectively true. So if you don't fix that, people are going to keep on having an issue with that. If you do fix that, you're the savior. That's what she means by fixed domestic policy. Make it better on the affordability so people feel it in their paychecks. They feel it in their actual consumption. That makes sense. Something else that she said here, which I think is interesting. The Republicans don't know how to win without Donald Trump. There's a lot of evidence to that point. And this is the hard love piece. So in the midterms, when Trump was in office first, he wasn't on the ballot. They lost the House. When Trump was out of power and it was the midterms going into the Biden's midterm. I don't remember which year. I think it was 2022. In that election, all the Trump-endorsed candidates struggled. The people didn't do well. Trump did fine. They didn't do well. Okay? Again, it's the candidates. It's the Republicans. It's the RNC. It's those pieces of the puzzle. Trump gets on the ballot. Everyone wins. And then now the special election, the Republicans struggle. There's objective data to say that she has a valid point. She's not going to be right on everything. And the Republicans have some great, good shining points on them as well. But at the same time, you got 12 months, as I mentioned in the very beginning of this video. 12 months until this basically goes either a very interesting direction, a status quo, or impeachment palooza. Because it's going to be impeachment palooza. There's going to be a retribution tour, and you all know what's going to happen. All right, there's a super chat over here from James Jisick for $5. Thank you very much. As you guys get in here, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. We are going to keep on grinding on this right here, the Republican piece. So this is one of the talking head from the Federalist. Okay, this is Brianna Lyman. She's going after pretty hard the weak Republicans in the House. Same kind of thing. Listen to this, and this is the frustration that comes out in the Republican response. Watch this, okay? And then we're going to get right back to bashing the Dems because it's more fun anyway.
Almost 10 seats. They are going to redistrict. Virginia will redistrict. You know who's not going to redistrict right now? Indiana, Kansas, Ohio, Republican states. I know we're all talking, oh, Republicans are going to win. Republicans could win if they did something, but right now they have no appetite to do anything. So you know what? Republicans will lose this redistricting. They will lose the House next year, and they will watch President Trump and all the momentum he had go right down the hill because they don't want to do their jobs.
Okay. So this is a piece that I'm going to give. I'm going to lean really heavily on my experience in the gun world through the advocacy piece on the Biden administration. The Biden administration was in the exact same scenario that she just described for 4 years. Or actually for 2 years. The first 2 years, they had all the levers of power. The second 2 years, they didn't. They had to shift to executive actions, and they lived in the executive world pretty much for 2 years. They went against gun rights. They went against all sorts of rights. They went after COVID policy. They went after every single thing they wanted to do. They did it through the power of the pen, through the executive branch, because they did not have Congress. Congress was not letting them pass anything at all, with the exception of the Bipartisan Safe Communities Act, which is a gun control act that was passed on the behest of the Republicans, who capitulated, and they were the rhinos in the Senate. We got a whole list. It's a thing. But honest to God, it would only be an executive push. What are they doing right now? The executive push. You have to keep it in a realistic macro observation. What they're doing in the current term, right this second, they're not passing tons of legislation because the Democrats are not going to let them pass the legislation because the filibuster is still in place. More videos coming on that soon. But you have to realize the state of play right now, this girl, or excuse me, that's disrespectful. This woman is going after it and saying that's going to cause all these problems. What you really have to understand is the executive branch is what's being leveraged the most as of right now and will be so in a worst case scenario. Even in a positive scenario where the Republicans take the House, maintain the House, and they gain seats in the Senate, you still need to get to 60. So you're going to be in that exact same scenario. The slow nature of our government crawl gets in the way of both Republicans and both Democrats. So you have to objectively, that is the state of play in this moment. But there is real frustration at Republicans being weak. You just saw it with Megyn Kelly, and you just saw it with this woman from the Federalist. Republicans do have a tendency to be weak. But now I want to go and shift. Like I said, it's a lot more fun when you realize what's truly going on. We're going to get a little bit deep for a second, and then we're going to kind of go back a little bit more. I want to bring something to your attention after you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, chats, emojis, comments, all those things help the entire show go out everywhere. Populism is something that is happening. Okay, I've had this theory for a while. I'm starting to see it percolate up a lot more. You're going to hear me talk about it a lot more. But populism is occurring at the base level of the American population, both right and on the left. Okay, populism is effectively the elites and all the politicians and all the rich people and all the people who control all the levers of power are hated by the bottom class or the middle class because these people on the top manipulate the entire thing, and there's a class stress right there, right? So that's happening on both sides. Things are more expensive for the lower classes and the middle classes. Things are not affected on the rich classes. That's just basic economics. However, what's happening in the populist is the left is going down the socialist communism collective route, and the right is going down the ultra-nationalist route. So they're expressing the exact same thing, but their belief is the same, but their expression is different. Okay, that's really important to understand as we go into this. Now, watch this clip from my buddy Shermichael Singleton. This guy is really smart, and if you see him on CNN, he's worth a listen. Listen to this.
I think the vulnerability here is how do you deliver on these promises?
Yeah,
when you have the top 1% and 2% of income earners in this city who pay more than half of the taxes. If there's a mass exodus of those individuals, your free buses, your free grocery stores, your free whatever you want to think of, it's not going to happen. And so at some point, once he's sworn in, he's going to have to govern. It sounds great to promise any and everything to everybody, but when you don't have the income to subsidize those promises, reality is going to hit into that base that you're talking about, and they're going to say, well, wait a minute here. This stuff isn't happening the way he promised, and that's going to be a real issue for him. But the cost of living is
all right, so what that part was, I left that in there just so we can say, like, we're on the same page. Me and Shermichael are saying the same dang thing. When the crap hits the fan, it's going to be a very real problem for the people who realize they can't afford it, but they also lost their tax base. Okay. Now, this is the part that I was just referencing. This is the setup with the populism. Listen to this.
Something that I think a lot of people expect Republicans to address. And I think one of the reasons Mamdani had a pill in New York, while I vociferously disagree with everything he stands for, when he talks about free grocery stores, he's appealing to people who are struggling in this city to pay for groceries. I understand psychologically why that resonates. When he talks about free buses, I understand why people who are struggling to afford to get to work, why they say, okay, well, this seems to make a little bit of sense to me. Yeah. And when he talks about taxing the wealthy, again, I get the through line, but the question I think that conservatives have to remind people, how is this sustainable? Yeah, and it isn't. Well, I think Democrats are going to attempt.
That's the piece I wanted to show you, okay? You have to understand, when every one of us watching, or every one of you watching this, myself, all of us have economic stressors that others don't have. Some have more, some have less. Some are on fixed income, some are not. All these different variables, okay? But when you are looking at something that is directly related to affordability, this is the Republican, wait, get your head out of the sand. You have an opportunity to save your butts and save the nation if you address this issue. And let me hear you in the chats and the comments and the emojis if I'm over the target on this one. Planes will be helpful. If you've got Shermichael Singleton saying it on CNN, if you have Brianna Lyman saying it on Fox News, if you have Megyn Kelly saying it on her network on Megyn Kelly's show, you might just want to listen at the fact that these people are all saying the same thing. The affordability is the issue. That's not a Republican or a Democrat issue, but the blue states are going to lean towards socialism and the red states are going to lean towards nationalism. It's coming from the exact same problem. Fix it, and you'll be the hero and be in power forever. It's not hard. Anyway, let's keep on going. Got a few more things for you. All right, so this is interesting. This is where it starts to hit the fan, and right now we are at 26 minutes. Thank you for the planes. I love it. So this is interesting. You're starting to see the Democrats already distance themselves from Zoran Mamdani. All right, watch this Democrat squirm on CNN. Okay, watch this.
Do you have concerns about?
Do you have concerns about? Question mark. About socialism. Where'd the audio go? What the heck?
Concerns about.
Apparently that audio just doesn't want to work on that clip. All right, moving on. I got another one. Don't worry, I bring backups. All right, this one's the governor of Kentucky. This is also CNN. The other one basically just said you have concerns, and the Democrats sidestepped. All right, Andy Bashir, watch this.
They are their brand of Democrat, if you will, is they are moderate Democrats. I would not typically ask you about a mayor's race in New York, but given what happened last night, I do want to ask you about it. I mean, because it has raised questions about the direction of the Democratic Party going forward for midterms and potentially for presidential candidates in 28. Zoran Mamdani is a Democratic Socialist. That is not your brand of politics in the Democratic Party, but has people saying that he is or should be the direction that the party is going. What do you think of his win, and do you think that he is a leader in the Democratic Party?
I think what we're seeing is it's less about what people call themselves and more about what they're focused on. The winner there in the New York mayor's race was unquestionably more focused on people's struggles, on the inability to afford housing, on the inability to pay the bills at the end of the week and at the end of the month. And I think people are less focused right now on even the policy proposals, but what they want is someone committed to trying to address it. And I think you see that across all the.
Okay, you can see where that answer goes. I'm not going to answer that question because that's a hot potato and I don't want to touch it. Because Hakeem Jeffries already said no, Fetterman already said no, AOC said Democrats get the hell out of the way. I mean, this is shaping up to be quite the thing. So even Kate Baldwin on CNN said, this is raising questions about the Democratic Party, the presidential contender for 2028. How far left are you going? You're giving the Republicans the amazing, incredible ads that are never going to stop giving. You've got the socialist Mom Donnie asking for money from his constituency and the proletariat, of which he's supposed to be the champion of on day one, because no one knows how to take your money like a socialist. I'm going to be honest. He just does it with a smile. They're just avoiding it. Guys, I just showed you two Democrats completely avoiding the entire thing. It doesn't matter what you call it. It matters about... No, it matters what you call it. Good God. But here's the thing, and I'm going to wrap with this one because we're right at time anyway. You're seeing multiple Republicans hit on the exact same thing, affordability. You're seeing the Democrats hit on affordability. If the White House misses and the Republican RNC misses that the fact that affordability is the most salient issue right there with crime, you're going to have issues. That's my own take. You guys can tell me what you think. Did you enjoy this content? Was it all over the place? Were there backhands dealt for each and every individual that needed them? Don't worry, there's more coming because we've got some reckoning to deal out while we save this country together. And guys, listen, I appreciate each and every one of you. I love each and every one of you. Just the right amount that makes you feel comfortable. Thank you so much for jumping into the chats, the emojis, the comments, the shares, being here for the live streams. I try my best to make them worth your while, and I hope that I'm delivering on that every single night. Listen, I'm going to get out of here. I got a lot of stuff to cover for tomorrow as well. See you then.